Hey guys, welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit Podcast. I'm your host Shane Hinton, and with me is my very old apprentice Alex Whiteley. He's in the background producing. This is I think it's the third instalment now of the Reduced to Clear Biscuits. I'm here with Luke Allen and Alex Yousefi, the young directors, directing Reduced to Clear, which is all very, very, very exciting. How are you guys? You all good?
Yeah,
pretty good, thanks.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been way longer than 2 weeks. For
I know,
Yeah.
it does, doesn't it? I mean, last week we had, not last week, it was 2 weeks ago, we had Simon Fisher-Beckett on, which was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
And now we've got another member of cast.
Guys, I'm sorry. We can get into if you want. I mean, I'm really sorry about that. We've got Simon on the line there. I mean, great to be here, guys. With Simon, it was great, but we're not hitting the mark at all. Great to be here, guys. He knows you mentioned my name yet. That's all. Is this what you do? Just freeze people out just before the show? Oh my god, this is going to be a great show. I can feel it. I mean, I can sense these things. It's going to be great. Yeah, thanks. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure to be here, guys. And I'll,
I'm done.
So glad I made the effort to make you coffee today. It's great. I really need that, don't I? And
there's Winter. There we go.
Let's go check the phone, okay? Yeah, great. Yeah, it's going great.
So what I was going to say was Luke and Alex have brought another amazing guest with them.
No, it's too late. Today.
Oh God, it's been a while since I've laughed that much on a podcast. Oh God, I'm crying.
Tears now. Brilliant. That's what we wanted. That's what we want. Sadness. That's brilliant. Moment silence.
So Winter. Well, for a start, by the way, awesome name. Because I don't. You're the only person which I've ever heard of being called Winter. So bonus points for that. So I guess the first thing we've got to talk about is how the hell did you two meet, or you guys meet? How did that? How did you find Reduced to Clear?
In many ways, we haven't yet. In terms of
this is just some random guy that jumped on the stream. It's like a bit like chat roulette, It's like, okay, wait, can you stop doing whatever you're doing there and just come on this podcast that we're doing today? Yeah, sure, no problem. Okay, fine, I'll stop that and I'll do it. We'll come on it. It'd be great. So basically, the truth is we haven't met yet officially. But all the Zoom stuff and we've been doing, but basically what happened was, for me, I'll just give you the full chunk now, so get ready. So basically, I start. Yeah, that's right. Here we go. So basically, I've been comic for the last 10 years, and because of all the lockdown stuff happened, I've been doing small acting roles and a bit of voiceover work here and there, but didn't really pursue it fully. And when the lockdown happened, I was like, right, okay, I've got to do something. I've got to do something that kind of keeps me entertained, to stop me climbing the walls and just annoying my wife and children with random jokes that I've started to write, give them a bit of peace. So I started pursuing the acting stuff, applied for loads and loads of stuff, applied for everything. And I've just had so much luck with things. And these guys were kind enough to send me an audition that I did, but I didn't have their script. Their script went missing. So I was like, okay, well, I kind of I'm a guy doing something in a thing, and so I was like, okay, so I thought just, it was the last audition I had to do that day. I said, all right, I'll just do some improv and just mess about with it, so, because I've done a few bits of improv in the past and it's been really fun. And so I was like, yeah, okay, last one, a bit tired. So I'm full of anger. So let's do that. so I just channel my anger into every role. So it's like anger. I do the high emotions very well, but the subtle things not so much.
Yeah, about as subtle as a brick then.
Exactly. That's it. So as a brick, as a sledgehammer. I like that. Look at me helping you with your metaphors. Teamwork, guys. We're getting there. We're just
team. Yeah. so Winter, I want to sort of delve into you a little bit on this podcast. So, what was young Winter like? So, where did it all sort of start?
Can I swear? Am I allowed to swear?
I just noticed that in the background then Alex just sort of looked up and just sort of peered over the top of the box of the camera like, what? We need to behave ourselves, see. So.
Right, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Basically, the young Winter, what was young Winter like? God, he was annoying. God, I mean, if you think I'm annoying now, you can imagine me when I was younger. I had even more energy. It was crazy. So I mean, young Winter was a bit scatterbrained, to say the least, to be fair. Had no self-awareness whatsoever, and just kind of bludgeoned on with anything that he was thought to mind, and just carried on. Didn't matter about anyone else. But now I've reached an age which is basically I'm 25 now, so I've reached that age, and thanks guys. And so I've reached this age now, any acting age 25 to 45. That's where I am now. Just that that little window, or whatever you want. So I'll do anything. So
I'm in that age range as well. I'm in that sort of yeah.
It feels good. I feel better. I feel better. Yeah. Now that I passed that age of like caring, that I don't really have I've got self-awareness, but I don't care about anyone else anymore, which is awesome. Whereas before I used to really care, but now I realize that I don't care, and it's just liberating. It's a wonderful place to be. So yeah. Is it too honest, guys? Is it too honest? I don't know. Is this too much?
No, it's fine. It's good.
Am I oversharing?
I suppose having that kind of attitude in life anyway kind of helps with a lot of things, but also the comedy factor. It's not really caring what anybody thinks and things. It obviously helps with acting, doesn't it? I guess it's just sort of it's part of it. I mean, one of the main reasons why people don't do stuff is because they're scared of what people's going to think of them, Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like a lot of people you see kind of go from, because my foundation is comedy, and so like don't get me wrong. When I first started that, I was like, I'd all of the confidence and none of the skills. I was like, yeah, here we go. And they're like, okay, that's awesome. But what else you got? You got energy. Yeah, that's it. But then as the time went on, it sort of built up and then just gave you confidence to do other things. It's like, but it's all everything comes up together, like age, like experience, and then also with the acting stuff, I was like, oh, maybe I could do this. Let's see if I could. And also, don't get me wrong, young Winter had an awful lot of self-loathing. I mean, this is it. Like, and so as I'm going through stuff, like doing podcasts, I do a podcast, The Comedy Defect, and like even doing this, right? You go to edit something. And like you're doing a link for a podcast, you're like, oh, I've done this 40 times now. This is enough. I cannot do this. And in the end, I'd reach a stage where and I'd even say it on the thing. It's like, right, this I've done something. As I say, this thing has done 40 times, and I can't do it again. So this is how this link is going out today. And enjoy the podcast.
I started pre-recording a lot of the links for my shows. It's just, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's like sometimes you're autopilot and you can just say the first word and you're off. Other times, all the words are there, just not in the right order, and that's
I feel that because even doing this podcast, I actually struggle leading and hosting these sort of things. I have to really think about what I'm doing. Al, it comes completely naturally. He just gets in front of a mic and that's it. He's in his element and he's like a god. He just sort of he can just keep going. Honestly, like you have to. I get Al to throw you a link to one of his. He does this. The gauntlet. He's called it the gauntlet, which is basically a series of tests for people that do podcasts. And it's just about thinking on the spot and and sort of rapid fire thinking, just keeping the audio going. And yeah, you should, I can't do it. I to this day, I've been doing this podcast now for 2-3 years, something like that. And I was doing a Thorskin podcast before with Al, and I still haven't done a gauntlet because I refuse to do it because I'm rubbish. Like, there's no point. Like,
so you've warned. I think you've both warned me that my invite is coming, and it's scary. I'm scared.
I just because I'm so old, because I'm so like sort of in the woodwork now with the biscuit. I think I've managed to get away with it. And I'm quite proud of that, and I'm happy just staying exactly where I am. Like, I don't want to do the gauntlet, but you're right. I mean, it's sometimes you do need sort of that bit of encouragement and a bit of sort of like what Luke said. It's that buzzword, isn't it? Sometimes that just gets you going. And do you know what I mean? I mean, I personally need Al to kind of bounce off, if you know what I mean. In the same way, I guess, as Carl Pilkington and Ricky Gervais, I suppose.
Yeah.
Carl on his own is probably not as funny as when he's with Ricky.
Well, maybe it's the other way around, really.
Maybe.
It's Carl on his own is fairly is all right and funny. As what isn't funny is the awful script we wrote that had a voiceover cameo from Carl Pilkington 2 years ago. Conman Denominator that we've mentioned several times. Sorry, I'm such in a plugging zone that I'll plug.
Just crowbarring that in there subtly. I love that.
Even though I know it's awful, if the opportunity is there to plug, I don't care if it's a good thing I'm plugging. I lean in closer to the mic and I go.
He gets his M&S voice on, and he's like, "Common denominator." So, Winter, you're
sorry, he's also not on the show right now. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize about that. Yeah. So,
what?
No, just going back to the beginning. It's like, but Carl, who isn't on the show, we could talk about. Anyone else want to talk about? Who's not on the show? That'd be amazing. What else? Okay, back to me. Great, let's go.
So obviously your main platform is comedy and stuff, and I know that one of the conversations we had before with Alex, Yousefi, and Luke, they were talking about how actually writing that comedy. They found it quite difficult sometimes, and sometimes they wrote these sort of comedy parts, and they were thinking,
"Yeah, I saw that."
Rubbish, It's that same sort of thing with your sort of comedy experience and stuff. Do you sort of sit, you think stuff, write stuff down, and you think to yourself, "Well, that's rubbish. That's going in the bin."
All the time, man. All the time. That's it. And like I've got a great support network of people around me that kind of tell me that stuff is terrible if it really is terrible. But sometimes I don't believe them because they don't know the best thing. Like I'm talking about my wife and my kids. They go, "What do you think of this?" They go, "Terrible." And I'll try it, and it's like, actually, if you believe in it enough and you commit to it wholeheartedly and just don't give up on it, it'll be funny. You know what I mean? Like that's it. There's always a route for it, like to be funny in a certain setting or a certain amount of energy. You've maybe given it too much energy. I tell you, but when you write something the first time and you hear it said out loud, the first time that person says it is probably the best time because it's full of energy, full of belief. And then, the second time you say it, you're just overconfident because I nailed it the first time. Yeah. And then you go boom, and you're like, well, why is this not happening? Oh, because you haven't actually found where it's actually funny. You've just done it through the feeling of the moment, but you don't feel that anymore. All you feel is this uber confidence and ego that's connected to that bit. You're like, you're gonna love this, and you can see the smugness on your face, even if you don't know it's there. It's like, yeah, you're gonna love it. So you just gotta be humble and just sort of just know your stuff inside out, man. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, so Luke and Alex, I suppose. In fact, no, I'm going to throw this one to Alex because he never says anything on his podcast. He just stays quiet in the background. He says like one sentence the entire podcast. He just sits there and looks pretty. So what was it about Winter then that sort of drew you to him for the role?
Well, his emotions and his ability to do the ad lib. He didn't have the script, and then he threw us that the great improvised scene,
which was nothing like how we pictured the character.
No. You actually rewrote the role for to fit that. Now, have you had some of his ad lib in?
Yeah. It was that good, so
I hope he's going to be credited as like a co-writer.
I did ask for that as well. I did actually ask for that.
We're currently undecided.
Yeah, I'm still not confirmed for the actual show, but like my script is fine.
Hold on a minute. Right. So, Al's just the boss has just spoken. He's written a message. He says, "You guys should all improv some angry scenarios so you can go the most crazy."
Oh,
Well, it's going to be winter, isn't it?
yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see.
Alex getting his fighting face off. Like, he's like, "Come on, then, let's have it."
No swearing, right? No swearing. We'll try.
No swearing. No swearing. So who's gonna go first then?
Well, can we have some setting? Some
Well, just make okay, so you are a customer coming into a shop and the person behind the till is not really paying much attention to you. And you're trying to say something that's broken and they don't care.
Okay.
I'm trying to find a prop.
Find a prop. Go on, Alex. It looks like you're ready.
I'm not ready. Give me a minute. I'm psyching myself up. I'm thinking of stuff.
I don't want to go first because otherwise it's going to make us all look rubbish.
No, let him go first. Come on. Go on, Winter.
You obviously got
Yeah, you got to earn that extra credit.
Okay. Work. Yeah, all right. Work, monkey boy. Work. Okay. Right. So okay. So I bought these adjustable weights. But what it came wasn't exactly what I ordered. This is adjustable, yeah, but it's a water bottle, okay? A water bottle. It is adjustable. No, I can't even get my hand in between the handle bit. It's just my 2 fingers. I bought this, okay, I did buy this off Facebook, but look, why do you even have a store if you're not going to sell us the right stuff? Right, true story, guys.
True story, yeah. About some actual real life emotion coming out there.
Yeah.
Instantly regretting having Winter go first.
Okay, so I'll set some scenarios for you. Alex, Alex said they cut your hair too short at the barber's.
Okay. Oh, right, okay. Give me a minute. All right, okay. Getting into something.
Pretend I'm the barber if you want.
Are you joking?
What?
I don't.
Don't you like it?
Are you kidding? I only said take off the bloody sides.
Well, that's what I've done.
You've taken all of it.
You got a bit
I'm
at the
never
front.
coming back here again.
Well, I'm sorry that you didn't like your haircut, but you know it's what you asked for.
I want my money back. My money back.
You're not having your money back.
I want 2 loyalty cards, and I want my money back. And I want to speak to your manager. I don't want to talk to you. Go out.
I'm the owner.
Out.
I can't order me out of my own barbers.
He's gone off, yeah.
There we go.
That was good.
My mum came in the room. She didn't know why I was being so loud. And it worked because it looked like I left the shop. All right.
That's genius. Right then, Luke. Yours is you can't get Love Actually out of Vietnamese.
Calling upon my Richard Curtis passion. Right. Okay. Look. Right. I'll play it short and simple. Love Actually. I bought this. Come to sit down. Got the popcorn, got everything else, and I couldn't understand a bloody word. Now, look, I've got other movies. All right, I've got About Time. I've got another About Time. I've got too many About Times, but this, I need to know what they're saying. How else will I understand?
Have you tried putting it to English?
What?
Have you tried putting it to English?
It's Vietnamese.
Well, yeah, change the setting to English. Have you turned it off and on again?
Is that not your job? Is it not your job to put this to English?
Unfortunately, I can't control your remote from here.
Well, maybe you should learn to. I'm just going to check that all of my about times that I threw are all right.
Okay, so apparently mine is they gave me a latte and not a mocha like I asked for. That is actually really annoying. So, excuse me, my coffee's wrong. It's wrong.
Do you want one of us to be the...
Well, whatever. It's, I wanted a mocha. Hello?
Well...
Hello? Hello? Hello, I'm the customer. Hello? Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
You've given me a latte and I wanted a mocha.
Well, I've given you what you asked for.
I don't... Look, taste it. Taste it. Go on, taste it. What's that?
Good. It's one of my best.
What is it?
Well, it's.
If you say coffee, I'm going to throw it at you.
that was a much. Yeah. Well,
I wanted a mocha. All right. I wanted a mocha, not a latte. I mean, how hard is it to? Mocha's got chocolate in it. Latte hasn't. How is it? How have you managed to mess that up? You got one job in the world. You got one job to make my bloody coffee, and you've managed to muck that up. Are you joking?
In a way, the latte is worth more, so we did you an offer.
I want to speak to your manager.
Well, Manager Winter. There we go. I'll pass you over.
Okay, right. So I'm the manager. I am the manager. So let me get it straight. You wanted a mocha.
I wanted a mocha.
Yeah, but you got a latte.
Yeah, but I wanted a mocha.
Yeah, but as my assistant manager said, Luke, he said that you obviously get more milk for that money. So really, we should be charging you extra.
Well, I wanted chocolate, not milk.
Oh, you wanted chocolate? Would you want a hot chocolate then?
No, I wanted a mocha. That's what I asked for.
So you just want everything, don't you? You want coffee and chocolate.
I do want everything. So I'm the paying customer.
You just seem like someone that's never going to be happy. I mean, I think you should just lower your expectations in life, mate. This is what it is. It's like, look, you just gotta. This is the beginning. This is a start. This is a learning moment for you. Okay, so you just gotta think of this, right? Just one thing at a time. Don't try and rush these things. Coffee and chocolate in one cup. We could do that.
Yeah.
But I think it's too much for you.
I'm sorry to butt in here. I'm his carer. I come with him into places to look after him.
Yeah.
He doesn't quite understand the world.
I wanted a mocha.
All right, calm down. Okay, come on. We'll get you back.
I want a mocha.
Okay, you're his carer. It's nice to hear his carer. But the thing is, you're his carer, right? So you're giving this guy who needs to be looked after coffee. So you're stimulating this guy. So do you need someone else? Do you need two people to care for him now once he's had coffee and chocolate?
Right, listen, right? He's half canine, okay? Dogs are allergic to chocolate, right? You can't have the chocolate, right? Hold on, did you ask for a mocha again? Did you ask for a mocha? Shane, you are not supposed to be...
He wanted a mocha, but he got a latte. So look, we've helped him out because we saved his life, technically. You should
Shane.
be... We're heroes right now. Me and Luke and the other guy who got a bad haircut are heroes. You are just a carer. You don't know how to look after your person. What's your name? I'm going to call the NHS helpline right now, and you are going to get reported. You're
coming with me.
Your star taken off your card. Now, you might be a 2-star right now, but I'm going to make sure you're going back to a 1-star. Okay? Do you understand? Now get the glove out of my store. Yeah, I think Luke up top. Boom. There we go. Nailed that. There we go.
Shane, get back in the car. I'm not taking you anywhere ever again. Alex out.
And that is why Winter is better at comedy than us.
Yeah.
Oh, that was funny. I've actually got a sweat on now. My blood pressure actually rose then when I was doing that.
See, you didn't even need the coffee. You didn't even need the coffee. That's what it is.
I know. That's right. I mean, while we're talking coffee, random question: Costa or Starbucks, Winter?
You know what? Costa in my heart, but Starbucks in my mouth. That sounds so funny. And it wasn't meant to be dirty, but that's how you took it. I'm sorry, guys. Look, Alex, I'm sorry. Look, I'm sorry.
Can that not be today's episode title? Costa in my heart, but Starbucks in my mouth.
It's got to be on there. Al, you got to put that on the description, all right? When you upload it, that quote's got to be on there. Costa in my heart.
What about you, Shane?
In my mouth.
Costa or Starbucks?
I'm a Starbucks man.
I'm on Costa. What about you, Luke? Come on.
I'm probably Starbucks, but I'm such a cheapskate. I rarely go out and have coffee anyway that I don't have much of an opinion. I've got a box here at home of Aldi's own Mocha. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's a trigger word for Shane.
Honestly, when I get sent to Aldi, right? When I sends me to Aldi, she gives me the exact money.
Yeah.
That I need to get the stuff that I need to buy. Because if I go anywhere near the middle aisle in Aldi, game over. Game over. I'm in debt. I'm in debt straight away. Done. You know.
You can get your fishing rod, your DVD, your books,
trombone, and a beanbag. So
yeah,
get everything that you need. It's but the thing is, I don't even need this stuff. I don't even need this stuff. I just buy it because it's just like, well, that's cheap.
Yeah. Where else are you going to get a reasonably priced donkey?
Yeah,
the middle aisle of Aldi.
Look, the water levels are going to rise pretty soon. I think Aldi are far ahead of the curve here, so you can buy a canoe down there. Isn't that amazing? So, I'm ready, guys. I've got. Oh, you're laughing at me now buying a canoe when I just went in for coffee. But hey, in 20 years' time, when I'm very feeble and old, I'm going to be in a canoe and I will drown in a cool way.
And my canoe has got cup holders, so.
That would be amazing. Well, actually, we won't have a drive-through anymore. We'll have a canoe through and Starbucks. So we're like, thank you very much. Oh, this is great. Now, where do I go for a piss? In my canoe. Wonderful. I'm stinking. This is great.
So
after the Eskimo roll, can we say Eskimo roll now, or is it like actual? Is it roll now? I don't know. Is that allowed? I don't know.
I can't keep up.
So is it just roll? Maybe it's just roll. Just do a roll. Yeah, that's probably just what it is. Okay, right. Well, cut that out. So here we are with Winter, the racist. He didn't pre-plan it. I'm gonna have my moment on loose women soon, maybe. Sorry, it's a reference to something a woman on Loose Woman said. Is there a difference between casual racism or racism? That's what it is. I think they're both racist. Is what it is. So
yeah, racism.
So anyway, it's been great to be here, guys. That is wonderful. Anything else? So Alex is just like, you can replace. Hey, yes, you can replace Piers Morgan. This is. I think that's a compliment. I will take that as a compliment.
So let's steer this back to the film and yourselves. By the way, that whole tangent was just brilliant. I love that. Things. It's just it's much better to just ad lib it and just wing it. That's my opinion, anyway. But
might just need to have a bit of a rest first.
Luke's level right now.
I hope as long as you're just resting down there, that's okay.
Yeah. Are you okay? Do you need? Are you choking?
He goes both hands above.
Yeah. Do you need an adult?
Yeah.
So Winter, obviously, I assume you've read the script now. After you
They haven't sent me the script yet. They said we loved your ad lib stuff. I was like, that's great. I haven't sent me an actual script yet. I mean, I'm okay with full frontal nudity. That is absolutely fine. I'm not a problem with that. As long as there's nudity in this, I'm in, right? If there's if there is no nudity, I don't want to do it. That's all I'll say, right? Is that okay? I'm gonna Daniel Radcliffe. I want to follow that sort of thing. So I'm going to be jumping onto it's a stage, right? It's stage production, isn't it?
I guess we could rewrite your bit again.
Again. Do I have a large part? That's what I want to know. Do I have a large part in this? It's up to you to decide. It's up to the public to decide if I have a large part or not. It's not for you guys. I guess we're just doing this thing. I'm just in it. I'll have it.
Just set it up. It's taking part of the counts, isn't it?
Connected to that part.
It's the effort. It's the
fusion.
So, what did you think of the script then? Assuming you genuinely read it.
No, I generally, I just no. Actually, no, I haven't. I actually don't have a script.
Guys, come on.
No, they did. I'm sure they sent it to me. I think it's probably in the bin somewhere. I'll get it in a minute.
I'm gonna blame Alex for that one.
No, it's fine. No, actually, the script was really fun. I have read it. It was really fun, and I just had to rewrite the whole thing, and it was great. No, honestly, no. The script is really, really fun. I said when I first read it through it, I said, guys, it's a really funny script, and it looks like a lot of fun to do. And I did make a couple of changes to my bit, and they were like, "We will talk about the co-writing credit.
We'll talk about it." Same as the dad going, we'll see.
Just sign the contract, Winter. Okay, just sign.
We'll send you over to our production manager. You are.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'm not the person to deal with that. There's a special person to deal with that. He's my assistant. Yeah, he's off today. COVID. It's going to be hard to get the email back to you because we're having it shipped over to China where they type the emails cheaper. So. So this email will be ethically sourced. Well, when I get it. So yeah.
That's another good title. This email will be ethically sourced.
I'm gonna put that in my email signatures at work now.
Is it too much work for Al? Because I did this with one of my shows once, where we did no description for this episode, just quotes, and it was just like a long list of different quotes that could be possible titles. And I think we should drag Al into doing that. That's it.
Al does what he wants. He doesn't take orders. He is the
we get Victor to be angry on him until
Oh, okay.
Al just said in the private chat that he's the daddy, so I'm not quite sure how to take that, if I'm honest.
Right.
But you see, if this bit stays in, the listeners will just be disappointed that they don't get what we're asking for. So you've got the listeners to,
Yeah. So it's down to the public vote, I suppose. Yeah, drop the biscuit in a message and let us know if you want quotes or descriptions. So, Winter, you're saying that you've been picking up bits of sort of bits of work here and there during COVID and stuff, because obviously this whole kind of field, I suppose, has been massively impacted, hasn't it, with regards to
it's been absolutely devastated. But it's been crushed. It's been like, that's the kind of sad thing, really, because comedy is such a ephemeral thing, and like it happens and it's gone, and like that momentum of just doing that consistently and just connecting with other audiences around the place, and just I've traveled all over doing comedy, and I just enjoyed it so much. I've been Japan, Germany, Brussels, Belgium, of course, and so, and like all these kind of like Barcelona, all these places I've been in, and it's just been so fun to do, and you get to see so many places and so many different audiences, and like when that went, it's just such a weird thing you feel like just like you're cut off, you're like lost in space. Like, okay, what do I do with my time? But I've had so much luck, and I've been blessed with being part of this project and many others. I've done loads of VO projects recently. I've got some on the tools stuff, which is like the tool builder short sketches and stuff. And about 2 years ago, I just did one recently. I did one 2 days ago, and for the April Fool's sketches, and it finished at 5. And I had a 10-page voiceover to record at 7, and so I had to get from Tamworth down home to record this voiceover at home. And I was like, oh man. It was just like, I was like, white knuckle rise. Like, there better not be an accident, a potential one that I'm going to cause. So I'm just like, here we go. But yeah, I've had so much luck, and a couple of things I've been in. I did some voice stuff for a production, which is a short sci-fi film, and called Counterproductive, and it won the LA short sci-fi film section this year, and they've been taking it around the place, and it's been doing great. And I'm like, it's just such a gift and a bit of luck to be involved with some people that are so passionate about what they do and just get their stuff out there. And just, I say, they're all lottery tickets really. And if you love doing it, hey, look, it's kind of free lottery tickets. You just kind of get to do what you love. So this is a second string to my bow that, kind of all this stuff comes up together. I started in comedy, and this really just it's just another skill which they both feed off each other and both solidify each skill.
I was gonna ask about stand-up, and obviously when you go up on stage to do stand-up, you own that audience, right? You buzz off that feeling you get, and it requires quite a bit of momentum. I worked for a while with Lucy Orchard. She's an up-and-coming comedian. She's very, very funny. And we worked, the You Suck network I've got, we worked with Joke Pit for just over a year. We sort of streamed on there. Now, like I found it really difficult when I did sit through a lot of sit through as if it was really painful. I did sit and watch a few of these StreamYard type gigs that go on till late in the night, and it's a very difficult because you're not getting a laugh, you're getting comedians judging each other. It's essentially what it is, right? And also, like, you kind of like, what happens is that because we're all online, it's like, it's like when if you ever watched a film recently where you kind of had your phone next to you, and go, I'm just gonna, that's a great bit, I'm just gonna check my phone, no messages, and then you just get so distracted. So when it's online on your computer, that's the thing where you get distracted the most. And so all these comments that come up on the side, so they're all the audience are just commenting on each other's comments, and they're not even mentioning the act. Sometimes they're just getting carried away in their own little chat room. We're like, well, guys, I don't even need to be here. You just carry on chatting to yourself. Sometimes it'll be about you. Maybe it'll be about you, but more often than not, it's just about them. I was like, how you doing, Tracy? Yeah, good. Yeah. What? You got a cup of tea? Yeah, it's great. I'm having a glass of wine. Oh, that's lovely. Guys, I'm right here. Delivering you these notes, and you're like talking about what you're drinking. It's like, whatever it is, or that's it. But hey, look, but that's the social thing about it now. When it's live, as you say, with the stream thing, it's so disconnected that they need to have a little bit of anxiety or stress, the fact that they might get talked to if they're in a room with the comic because they're not paying attention. It's like that, I'm talking, it's like, better be quiet, and there's that little bit of, they're all one homunculus.
You can read the audience better, can't you, as well, because you can actually see them and the atmosphere as well.
I could get the atmosphere. Is true. I was saying before we started recording, I was saying to the lads there, I've done a couple of live stuff online, and it was the first thing we did was with StreamYard, and there was no audience feedback. It was really tough. We did my 20 minutes, but it was just like, oh man, it was just, there was no back and forth. But I did a charity one. They had to do it on Zoom, and it was a bit more interactive. You could hear the audience, but halfway through my set, I hadn't gigged for a while, and I was like, because I had a gig in between when the lockdown eased and then it started again, and I had one online and it was going great for 10 minutes, and I was like, then it was after 10 minutes, I was like, what's going on? There's no laughter here. Well, what's happening? Anyway, I carried on, didn't mention it, and so I was like, right, and then finished, and I'm in my house still, so I kind of made myself a cup of tea. Next day I get an email saying, we loved your set, but it's a shame that halfway through we lost your connection. And I was like, oh, thank God. I thought I was just rusty as hell because I was bringing it home. I was like, that's 10 minutes, bringing in the big guns. Here we go. Finish on a high. Nothing. I was like, thank you. I was like, oh, okay, great, guys. This is just.
I'll see myself out.
Jazz hands, I'm out. But it was just. It's a different animal. And I think sometimes I've said this before on my own podcast. I said that when I interview comedians, I say, "Have you done many online gigs?" And I said, "You know, it's like it feels like it's like stripping without the money, and also like you're kind of like just doing the thing, and you're just there, and there's no it's like watching. It's like you're scrolling. You've logged into your computer and you're watching for some reason a random home movie of somebody telling you about their lives, and you're like, "What? Why am I watching this?" This. Why would you watch a whole movie about someone else's life? Unless you went to a comedy club, right? Oh, it's going to be jokes. But it just feels because you're seeing their house, don't you? You're like seeing their whatever room they're in.
Yeah.
That was my cue for Shane, by the way, not for you to shut up. That was
We've told you the real guest is coming on in a second. Yeah, Winter Dominus. Yeah, right. Yeah, Winter Minimus, maybe. I don't know.
Where are you now? Are you still in Skibbereen, or where are you?
No, I'm based at the moment in about 6 miles from Watford, which is Hemel Hempstead, if you know where that is. Okay. So that's where I am. Don't like to brag, guys, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper than London or anywhere else around the surrounding areas. 40 minutes to London.
I buy KFC every week. Whoop, whoop. I was going to ask you, because we were talking before we hit record that you're from my dad's neck of the woods, Skibbereen, and I've spent a lot of time in Bantry. I know how remote these places are. For somebody that wants to go out there and make a name for themselves, is it a case of getting out of there? Just get out of there, because I know what it's like. My brother hates Bantry. He's lived there all his life, right? Because there's nothing there. Well, so is the goal to get out into the lights? I think that, like Grim Linehan is from Skibbereen. You know that because if you ever watched Alan Partridge, he's in that part when all the producers from RT come over, and then they sit Alan down and says, "Okay, well, what ideas you got, Alan?" And he says, "Right, okay, got all these ideas." And he says, "Where are you from, Graham?" He says, "I'm from Cork, Alan." And Alan says to him, "Whereabouts in Cork?" And Graham says, "You'd never heard of it, Alan." And Alan says, "Try me." And he says, "Skibbereen." Alan's like, "I never heard of it." So it's the most well-known, unknown place. Like anyone who loves their comedy, will know this. Like I've had it's a comic test. People come up to me, go, "Oh, Skibbereen, of course, that's where." Yeah, but that's it. But I'm from that small place, and do you know what? When I was growing up in Skib, there was like that's the cool kids call it Skib. So because it's just too long. People, it's like my name. My name is too long, so I call myself Winter Dominus everywhere on internet, Twitter, every handle, whole lot. There's a plug for you, Luke. There you go.
It was your idea to come on with our Twitter app.
Yeah, I know, but that's mine. It's mine. No, that's good, mate. It's good.
Yours is a lot better than mine that I created when I was like.
I obviously didn't get that memo clearly.
No, it was you had trouble getting in, didn't you?
I had trouble getting it. I tried joining, and then obviously I was waiting to get let in, and then something happened, so I had to rejoin, and then I couldn't even pick my name then, so I just went with it. But it's fine.
So do you want me to continue talking about Twitter? So I'm tangenting off. I don't mind. I can come back to this. Was it? So I think this now from this place I'm from, Skibbereen. There's when I grew up, there was 36 pubs in the area. Bantry, a lot of pubs, right? Don't know how many there's left there now at this stage, but 36 pubs, right? So there wasn't really a lot to do. So I spent my youth just getting smashed. And just kind of
Ma Murphy's,
yeah, everything, man, everything. Just having fun. Just Linden Village was the kind of the bottle of cider at the time, and we just do all that kind of stuff. And so I wanted to get out of Skib. So when I was doing that, I knew I don't know about you, right? When you're in school, do you have this, right? You kind of go to school and you have no story whatsoever, but you go to see your mates at the outside the school and you're chatting away and you're like, nothing's happened. But for me, before I went down there, I'd rehearsed what I was going to say in my head, like some great stories or some stupid stuff that happened to me over the weekend or even that morning, or I just had nothing had happened, but I brushed my teeth, but I had all the energy and just craziness. But one thing, I wasn't allowed sugar when I was a kid. Because my mom was like, right, looking at everything. Oh, Weetabix, the least sugar ever, but it had sugar in it, so I wasn't allowed that. I was allowed shredded wheat. I wasn't allowed Weetabix. But so anyway, so I go to the courthouse and outside the courthouse, outside of school, and we'd just be chatting, talking about stuff, and in the conversations I'd have callbacks within the riff or the conversation, and I'm like, oh, and then one time I was in Skull, Skull.
No.
Right, Skull is like is a small little town about 20 miles from Skib. I was out there one time on a weekend, and this is when I realized that I wanted to do something that made people laugh. But in Ireland at that time, there was no route to it because there was no open mic circuit. There was no middle semi-pro or to pro. I mean, there was a pro, there was no kind of I didn't see the path. So I went to a pub in Skull called Hackett's, and it was a tiny little pub. And I had all my stories preloaded because I tell them on the weekends, there's a house parties, whatever it was. And so, we kind of all hold court and just have the crack with everyone. And so I went out to this pub called Hackett's, and I had a few drinks, and I was right. I had my stories loaded in the right order for some reason. That night I was just on it and having fun. And there was a table of people in this Hackett's, and I just unleashed my entire repertoire of stories on them. And when I finished, they just burst into spontaneous rounds of applause. And I said to my mate, I said, did you see that? I said, how can I get this? How can I do this again? I was like, what? I was elated. I was like, where do I go with this? But there was nowhere until I was like, right, okay, I thought maybe at the beginning I maybe want to be a presenter, but there wasn't enough personality. I couldn't write my own stuff. I had to do someone else's stuff. And then, so I did went through it and then did more stand up. I did a couple of gigs, did about 30 gigs, and then life got in the way to earn some money. And then I kind of came back to it. I did that in 2003 on the 12th of July, 2003 was my first gig. I did 30 gigs and then kind of had to do something to get my life in order because you need money to pursue anything. And then so came back to it again, and I went really hard at comedy from 2010 to 11. And that was it when I first started. I think it was around March, my first gig back, and I just hit it really hard from then on. And I got good because you can only get good quickly in this country, I feel, because there's so many gigs. Or if you go to America, like New York or somewhere like that, or somewhere there's a big population, so you can just gig every consistently, and you can improve a hell of a lot quicker. And you can shake off a bad gig and just get to the next one. Because in Ireland, I did a couple of gigs in my hometown. There's a guy called Michael Mee, excellent comic. He's just been going for a long time, and he's a very, very funny guy. And he'd go for years, and I was just kind of cutting my teeth. I was doing dressing up and weird stuff, doing French accent, Scottish accent, Australian, anything that made people laugh, put on a moustache, whatever it was, just anything. I just didn't know what it was, just trying to find my feet. And so I was in there, and we did a gig in Skibbereen, and he was closing, and I was just doing a bit at the top, And he said to me at the end, he said, "Do you know what? Skibbereen just isn't ready for you yet." that was when I was doing my first 30 gigs, it was years ago. But it's man, everyone, usually people on the circuit are so good, and so friendly. And if they're not nice to you, that's fine, whatever, but there's always going to be the odd exception to the rule. But that's fine, because stand up is so hard that you can get yourself really locked into a cycle of just despair and bitterness and anger, and you don't realize you're in it. You kind of go, oh man, just because it's so hard. It really is. It's hard, because acting is hard, yeah, but I think that stand up is just the rejection you experience in that. It just stands you in good stead for anything. It's just great. It's really.
What's been your worst gig?
The worst gig? Okay, I've got that loaded in my mind. That worst gig was only when I first started going. It was in Galway, and it was in a place called the Roisin Dove, and it's a lovely room. It really is. I've told this story before. So basically, there was the guy headliner was on the bill was a Canadian comic called Angelo Sarukas. You might have seen him in some gangster movies. He's the guy in the back. They go, "Hey, watch out for Tony," and he's just like, one of those. He's brilliant, very funny guy. Carl Spain was emceeing, amazing MC, and just was I was like, I've got to follow the MC. I was like, oh, so big, so new that I didn't realize that they were doing something different to me. And the middle acts were great. The opening act, I can't remember the opening act, but the place is a really small little pub. It used to be kind of connected, called the Laughter Lounge, connected to the Laughter Lounge in Dublin, but it's called Roisin Dove. So I went down there and I say, done 30, but I'd maybe done 15 gigs, right? I was doing the middle 5. And you get, at the beginning, you kind of ape your influences, like, you know, and I was going through a very much Bill Hicks phase, you know, and it was so I had a little suit jacket on. Look, man, when I wear a suit jacket, I'm not a big dude. I'm like 5'7". I look like I'm a magician. Do you know what I mean? That's what it is. So I was like, or a little waiter. Do you know what I mean? So I went on, suit jacket on. My stuff wasn't Bill Hicks's stuff, but you could really smell the influence off of it. You know, I was all my own jokes, but you could smell that kind of that theme. So anyway, so to went up on it. It was a packed little room. It's tiny. It's 80 people, and those people sitting on people's laps. It was that busy. It's a really high stage, and like anything that you're not used to. Like, I mean, I was just used to like standing on like, you know, kind of really low stages, and a high stage, it just threw me. Like, so I had a high stage. Everyone was smashing it. I had like my influences. You could like just see what I've been listening to recently, and just like that kind of like anger that maybe wasn't necessarily me on stage. It was, and then also the suit jacket, and also like I tell you what, my name Winter is a lot to choke down when someone hears that over the mic, you know. And welcome to the stage, Winter Foenander. It's like, okay, well, Winter is a lot, and Foenander is just too much. You know, like, oh, Winter, enough already. This guy's got a weird name. So making a name for myself wasn't hard. Is getting rid of the name for myself is a lot easier. So so basically I was there, and like, so went onto the stage, walked on, they applauded me on. That was great. Anyway, got onto the stage, which felt like, you know, at the top of a trapeze in Cirque du Soleil. Got up there and then just kind of went through my 5 minutes, and to absolute silence. There was I could hear people's stomachs digesting food. It was that quiet. Do you know what I mean? And it was so depressing. Like, and then, anyway, it felt like 5 hours. It was ridiculous. So I came off, or I just stopped talking, I think, at the time, and to absolutely my own footsteps. They didn't even applaud me off. I just like kung. It was tough. And that night I did not sleep, but I stayed to watch the headliner, which is the most important thing to do if you ever want to do comedy. Watch the headliner, watch what he does, even if it's with a bad room. Because at the beginning you're like, okay, I didn't do well, I'll go home and, you know, hang my head in shame. Stay and watch what the headliner does, because it's the most the best schooling you will get from any comedy night, because they're so experienced, and talk to them. And even if you're hanging your head in shame, they've been there as well. So go, look, I know, look, be honest. So I said to them, so look, I know that wasn't great. What do I do? And they said to me, just keep gigging.
Is it quite an issue when you're doing acts, when you're supporting a headliner, or if you're becoming an opening actor or all the rest, when the audience have come for one person and you're like, is it a lot harder to win the audience that way than if you were doing an open mic, or if you're doing your own gig?
Like, I mean, in fairness, right, the thing was with when you're supporting a headline act, depends on who they are. I mean, if like or where you are. I mean, in fairness, we'll generalize it, but it's like every gig is different, right? And every audience is some people might never have heard of the main headliner, you know? They might have just come because they trust the promoter to go, this guy always brings great acts down, so we're on board. And that is a gift, because then the audience are invested and they know whatever's going to come is going to be good, you know? Whereas sometimes a night might start up and you get different audiences coming all the time, so you have to win those audiences over again and again, and it might be a little bit more difficult to crack them. But if you're a good opener, yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah, you just kind of do your stuff and hope and you know, and just sell it as best you can, and you know, and then you're just all. It's all, everyone says, oh, the headliner is the main event, but really it's all part of a team, you know. The opener has to do well. The middle acts have to bring their best stuff, hopefully, you know, if you've treated them right and you've paid them money to come. And then the MC has to do a great job as well. Hopefully the MC is connected with them. And like, it's just, it's also, it's a team effort, right? I'll tell you one gig before move off onto what we're talking about, the reduced to clearance has gone off on me. But like, basically, like I did a gig in Plymouth, right? And it doesn't happen often when you have a moment when everyone does so good. Like sometimes some people might not hit the mark. It's a live performance. Basically, I was emceeing down in Plymouth. There was a really lovely gig in B-Bar. I was having a great time. Such a lovely room. I'm really enjoying it. Really, really fun. And then the opening act did great. The middle acts did great. The headliner, a guy called Sean Mio, is brilliant. He's been on the circuit for 30 years. He's excellent. And you could feel the electricity at that gig. And it was just like everyone was walking out going, well, we saw something tonight. And you do not get that regularly. You don't. People might have a good night, but you don't get it when it's consistently amazing. You know, I was emceeing, so it's going to be great. But, but that's it. You don't. I mean, everyone thinks that, oh, you know, it's always, but it's not always the case. But you know, you always learn. You just, as I say, you don't die as much as you go, but you die with grace. And it's like aging. You hopefully age gracefully and don't try to get loads of Botox to make you look like a mannequin.
Yeah. So Winter, I mean, we got to finish up soon, but so obviously Reduce Clear is going to be like, you know, world famous. It's going to make loads of money and it's going to set you up for life, of course.
Damn right, man. That's what I'm hoping for. I mean, you know, all the way, man. That's it. I'm gonna get myself out there. It's all about exposure, baby.
Obviously, no pressure, Alex and Luke. You know, you got to. There's a lot of lives.
We're not paying him for nothing.
You better not pay me. I want that.
I'll just point to something else because I completely forgot about that. You guys have been doing really, really well, haven't you, with regards to the crowdfunding?
Yeah,
we have surpassed a grand. It actually has, in a perfect way to smoothly add it to my own self-promotion. It happened. I checked the email came through that we'd passed a grand whilst I was currently recording an episode of my new podcast series, Love Rosie podcast, analyzing the 2014 film Love Rosie 5 minutes at a time. But I was recording that with my co-host Ellen, and we were just midway through doing something. I went to Google something, and up this ping came. So I do genuinely have like the recording of me suddenly going, we've just had £120 donation and now we've hit a grand. And it's just like, it was such a lovely surprise. And then I like called up Alex straight away and I was like, we've done that. I mean, it's still running. I think it's still running when they're listening to this. So
what was the target initially?
The original target, minimum, was 750. So
wow,
we're already greater
than
we expected. And we've got some lovely perks available. If people want to keep donating, we've got stuff there. And yeah.
What are they pictures?
Wrong show.
What is it, Shane? What did I say? That's in your mind. That's in your mind, man. That's in your. I am telling. I just see a picture. There's anything else. Can't prove it.
I'll tell you what, I could sit with a podcast with you, Winter, for ages, because I wouldn't say anything. All you'd hear was me just going.
This has been the most fun yet exhausting.
It has. This has been great.
We've got a meeting with our storyboard artist and one of our art directors later today, and I've got to like.
Go for a lie down.
Yeah,
I've got to go back to my
hands.
I mean, I'm going to stick my neck out a little bit here because I'm a little bit out of my jurisdiction, but I'm pretty sure that Al would happily have you on USUC, which is a bit more of an R-rated show, and you can get a bit more grubby.
Great.
You say you're a podcaster, yeah?
Yes.
Which means you can run the gauntlet. Yes.
Oh yeah, here we go.
I will be in touch after this show.
Right, I look forward to it.
Podstars, coming on Podstars, baby. That's
great.
Yeah, it's the Podstars is a very good show. It's a lot more R-rated. It tends to be hosted by Al and his American co-host Tom.
Cool.
It's a brilliant podcast. It used to be Thorskin and then drafted over to USUC, and then I got drafted into the Biscuit podcast, and then I'm like the unwanted child of Thorskin that nobody wants anymore, and they just sidelined me back into Biscuit. So
do the gauntlet and prove you worth.
That's it.
We like wordsmiths.
I don't need to do the gauntlet. I'm old school now. Part of the furniture.
Yeah.
Shane,
don't go anywhere.
Like a commode, right?
Why don't you tell people about our website, Shane?
Oh, why did you get me to do this? I always get it wrong. So, finished. Oh, I was about to do. Why'd you do that?
Well,
don't do that to me, man. Don't do that to me. Where's it gone? God's sake, Al. Where's it gone? I've lost it now. So anyway, guys, you can find our content on Podbean, Spotify, YouTube, pretty much everywhere. I'm pretty sure if you ask Alexa as well as now, I'm pretty sure you can get it on Alexa as well.
Yes.
But if you can't find it on any of them, we do have a website, which is the Shrewsbury Biscuit Podcast.co.uk, which has been made by our lovely friends at Web Orchard. So if you do need a website, anybody, give Web Orchard a call, because they're pretty awesome. They've actually done the Biscuit Podcast website and USAC for us, and they're good guys, really good guys. Is that all right, boss? Is that all right for you?
Yeah. Let's give everyone else a chance to plug their stuff as well. Winter, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter. I'm there at Winter Dominus. I'm there on Instagram at Winter Dominus. I'm everywhere with the same tag, which I'm learning, which is probably easier to help people find you, because I've had like multiple tags for different things. I also
don't just go with something stupid like Llama Bottle Zero.
I like that. It's different, right? Llama Bottle Zero. I mean, that's good. I like it. It's that you're the only one, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm not quite. I don't
Apart
think I
from
need
Llama Bottle 1. Like,
Yeah.
It could be worse. It could be Rice by Daylight.
Yeah, all right, I knew that. I'll get it sorted. Sort it out.
I've been meaning to change mine for ages. Then I plugged it on so many podcasts, and I've got it on 500 business cards. It's like, well, that's sticking.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've just intruded Winter's plug.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, do you want to plug anything in my plugging moment? Do you want to do that? I mean, it's your thing now, Luke, isn't it? It's your thing. You're just going to plug things over other people's plugs.
At Love Rosie Pod on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Ah!
Every Friday, 6 p.m. We release the episodes. Check it out.
Okay, well that's my time. Okay, so basically, you can find me all those places at Winter Dominus, Instagram, Twitter. I'm on YouTube as well. I'm there as some other weird thing. So, but it's at Winter Dominus. But I also have a podcast called it's nothing to do with Luke. It's The Comedy Defect is what it is. The Comedy Defect. I interview loads of different comics on there, and just kind of try to get a little bit more out of them, who they are and where they come from, rather than just the same kind of generic questions of like, how do you think of your jokes? Do you know, that kind of thing. I try to kind of find a vein of to an interesting vein to kind of tangent off to. But yeah, it's been really fun. Yeah.
Go on in, Alex. Go on.
Oh
then.
no, I've got no. You can't do this to me now.
Yeah,
all
go on.
right, okay. So on Instagram, it's riced .by.daylight. I'm getting it sorted before the next one, because I can't do this every time, guys.
I'm not angry, Alex. I'm not angry. I'm just
disappointed. Yeah. That's
you need to
pain.
get on that, man. You need to sort that out.
Every time you do that, Alex, you've got to do it.
Al, you got anything you want to plug or anything you want to add?
I just want to say that we are a registered CIC now. We're a proper business, the Biscuit. We're looking for sponsors. So if any local businesses out there want to be attached to the Biscuit, there is now a form you can fill in on our website, so you can inquire about that, and we can have a conversation, because we need to keep the show sustainable, so we don't charge ridiculous prices. But there is an opportunity for you to advertise your business on all of the shows that we do at the Biscuit. We want to help you guys, so please get in touch.
Yeah, and with it being a CRC, the money doesn't go into our pockets to give Alice Mackey's breakfast.
Well, that's what sustainable means, Shane. Shut up, Whiteley. Shut up, Whitley. Right, take us out,
right,
Shane.
Get out of there, guys. Right in. Where's the thing? Where's the thingy? Where's the thing?
I'm just going to sit back. It's called...
I can't find it.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, it's good.
Peace out, guys.
Pleasure.
Bye.